Okay, this is the instructional video for the Z Standard Kit. Your Z Standard Kit, of course, you have the batteries that do come with it. You have the clearomizer. This is your top end. It's very easy to assemble these two pieces. You just screw it on there. But, of course, you want to make sure you have liquid in that unit before you actually use it itself. So it's very easy to do. What we're going to do first is we're going to talk about your battery. Your batteries that you do have here do have a on-off switch. It's very simple to do. It's 5 clicks for on or off. This on-off feature is not for energy conservation. What it is actually for is that it doesn't accidentally go off when you don't want it to. Having it in your pocket or your purse, whatever that might be, something can push this button and cause it to be running the entire time. That will damage, of course, your heating element. It can, of course, distort your liquid. It can cause all kinds of problems. You don't want that to happen. It's very quick. You'll notice here I'm going to push the light and push the button. You see no light. That means it's either off or it needs to be charged. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if it needs to be turned on. 5 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you notice, it just blinked and it said, hey, we are turned on, everybody. So, of course, now as I press that button, you're always going to see that illumination that is telling you that it is on and it is working. So it's pretty simple as far as these batteries. It's just a click on, click off. As far as charging them goes, you do have the USB charger. All you have to do is you screw this clockwise. You don't have to screw it very tightly, and actually I really recommend that you do not do that. If you screw it extremely tightly every time, you can damage this unit here. It doesn't need to be gorilla gripped, okay? You turn this, and as soon as you're turning it, you're going to see there's a little light here, a little LED light. It's going to go from green to red, and then it's going to be red while it's charging. It's going to go back to green once it is actually charged on up, and all you have to do is screw this on enough until it is actually charged. This is lithium-ion technology, so you don't have to worry about depleting it all the way down and cycling it through or anything like that. You can charge these for 5 minutes. You can charge these for half an hour, whatever it is, or let it go for 100%. You can leave this on the charger for a day or two and not worry about it. The system will automatically shut down once it has actually charged up. Now, one thing to note with this, especially with these chargers, people forget to do this. Over time, you will get debris on your charge point there, so you always want to make sure to clean that off every once in a while. That's going to always be helpful. Your secondary thing that you do want to make sure is clean the actual channel of your battery itself. Q-tips I kind of recommend. You don't have to go crazy or wild with all kind of cleaning products, things of that nature. Just kind of keep it clean, and that's always going to help you out. So that shows you the battery portion that we're looking at. The next thing is your clearomizer itself. Your clearomizer that we have here, it's very easy to fill up, folks. All you do is you turn it upside down and you unscrew it, the base. As you unscrew the base, this is going to reveal your heating element. Now, let's talk about the heating element very quickly. Number one, every time you fill up your clearomizer here with the liquid itself, you always have to check that this is tight. Okay, it will loosen up over time if it is left unchecked. Okay, so it's very easy to do. Like that, look at that, just from factory, that was loose. So you want to make sure to always make sure that this is tight. So you just turn it clockwise until you can't turn it anymore. Now with this one, you can go a little bit tighter. Okay, you can go a little bit tighter and make sure that it is nice and tight. Now with this here, if it was just that loose, as I'm kind of turning it that way, it looks like it's on there correctly, but now the seal is open. That's going to cause some liquid to go around the heating element and up into your air tube. So it can cause leaking, and it could cause voltage problems because now it's not touching the contact correctly, and you can only be at 50%. So that's going to be another problem with that. So always make sure that this is tight. As far as your heating element goes, as you know, in the standard kit, we do have replacements there, so that's very nice. And then if you need future replacements, you just go to our replacement section of our website. How do you know to replace one of these? One of 3 things will happen. The one thing is the wicking here will burn out. That's going to give a harsh burnt taste to the back of your throat, and that's, of course, a time to know that you have to replace that heating element. Second way is the liquid itself won't exchange into vapor, and that means that it has exhausted itself. It will no longer exchange it. You're getting a little bit of liquid onto the lip there. Now you know that you need to replace that. Third way is it wears out. It just one of those things. It's working the way it's supposed to, but it's not at 100% anymore. And it'll go down to 90%, and the next day at 80%, and then 70%. And that sneaks up on you. It sneaks up on the best of us. I've been doing this since 2009, and I'm here to tell you, even literally last week, it just happened to me where I'm like, hey, what's going on? I'm not getting the same satisfaction. My coil, my heating element had gone out on me. So if you have an urge for a cigarette, or you're like, this isn't working for me anymore, it's your heating element that needs to be replaced. So that kind of tells you there. Like I just showed you, you just unscrew this all the way counterclockwise, take off the old one, put on the new one, screw it clockwise. Just that easy. Very, very simple to do, folks. As far as filling up the liquid, what you do is you're going to notice right in there, you do see a metal tube in the middle. You don't want to put the liquid in there. It's just going to come out the other end if you did that. You want to put the liquid around that center tube, and it just fills up. And you want to go all the way up to where that metal center tube is. You don't want to pass that by. You fill this on up with liquid, put this piece back on top, close the piece. Then we're going to take it and we are going to screw it onto the battery, and you're good to go. It's just that easy. Now, all the things that I just did, if you notice, I didn't over tighten everything. Okay, there's some hidden things that people will do. They feel that tightening as tight as they can help it. It will actually damage it. This contact point in the battery itself has a spring below it, and if you push it a little bit too far down, then it won't work properly anymore. Same with your heating element, the coil. There's a little contact in there. You can push that up into the clearomizer too far. These are two known things that can cause issues with your electronic cigarettes. So make sure, just kind of a little bit tight there. That's it. It doesn't have to be really, really tightened on up. As soon as you kind of feel that contact hit, you're good to go. That, is, of course, is your standard kit, putting it together. Just as a side note with your liquid, I do hope that you're using ZEE liquid or a premium brand. How do you know when it's not? Well, number one, a lot of people can taste it. They'll taste it chemically, taste it as a background. Another very quick telltale sign is it's very sludgy and it's not very fluid-like. As you notice, this is very fluid-like. Keep in mind, if you're using low-grade liquids, it will damage your systems. Your heating element cannot process it correctly, and it'll just prematurely go out. We do have that. That, of course, is not covered under the warranty that you're looking at if you're using subpar liquid, because that's causing the heating elements to prematurely exhaust themselves and break out because it can't process it. So that is one thing to note. The last thing really to note with these units that you see here is just be careful with them. User damage isn't covered. If you're like, well, what do you mean user damage, Sean? If you put this in your pocket, especially your front pocket, and you keep on bending over, you're going to cause this a lot of unneeded pressure on the unit, and a lot of times it will separate right here at this point. So if you're going to throw it in your pocket, and you know you're going to be sitting down, your back pocket is usually the best way, or just put it on the table in front of you, whatever is convenient. Some people actually will put a little lanyard and wear it that way. That way they never lose it. That's one of the problems with this. With cigarettes, you always got another one laying around, but with these guys, you tend to lose it, and I've been doing it all the time. So this is, of course, your instructional video for your standard kit, the e-cig that we were looking at right here, and have some enjoyment with this, folks, and I hope this really helped you out.